If you're like me and you like to know what you're putting on your skin and in your body, you're going to love our do-it-yourself hard wax made with just beeswax and pine gum resin. These 100% natural ingredients make up a hard wax that's gentle enough to use on your face. And the best part is there's no strips required. And bonus, it'll save you tons of money. Let's go ahead and make it together. Beeswax is secreted by honeybees and is a product of honey production. The bees produce excess honey in wax honeycombs, which can be taken by beekeepers without affecting the colony. Pine resin oozes from pine trees, and the pine trees use it to heal their wounds and seal off potential insect damage. This is the part of our hard wax that gives it the sticky capability, while still being gentle enough to use on the face. You won't believe how easy this is to make. The first step is to grab your pine gum resin and your beeswax. I'll put some links in the description below where I bought mine. You can find 100% natural beeswax in either pellets or in the big chunks like this. The pellets will melt a lot faster, so I recommend getting those if it's available. And you're going to add 20 grams of the beeswax and 80 grams of the pine gum resin. If your pine gum resin is coming in big chunks like this, then what I recommend is putting it in a little plastic bag and just giving it a hammer and breaking it into smaller pieces to increase the surface area. It will melt a whole lot faster. I also highly recommend using a wax warmer like this one here with a silicone bowl. It makes cleanup so easy. However, if you don't have one, you can also place the two ingredients into a glass jar into a pot of boiling water, and it will melt there as well. But you'll need to be able to keep it at the right temperature while you're using your wax, which is why I recommend this wax warmer. Crank up the heat and let it melt. It will fully melt and incorporate after about half an hour or so. If you're going to be waxing later, you're going to just let this completely cool until it hardens, and then break it apart, or you can just simply remove and chop into small pieces, which will melt faster later. Then just simply store it in an airtight glass jar until you're ready to wax. It is really just that easy to make your own homemade hard wax that's safe for the face. Once you're ready to wax, just simply remelt your hard wax as we did previously. Turn the temperature down slightly on your wax warmer and allow it to naturally cool until it becomes a consistency of a warmed honey. Make sure to choose the right size applicator for where you're going to be waxing. The perfect temperature is when you reach this consistency here, kind of like warmed runny honey. Make sure to test your temperature and the consistency to make sure it's correct. Here I'm testing on a spot of my hand that doesn't have any hair and making sure that it's the correct consistency and temperature. It will cool and harden within 5 to 10 seconds, which is really quick, so you need to act fairly quickly. Next, you're ready to clean the skin and start waxing. Make sure to pull your hair back off your face and consult a professional for best how to actually wax. I am no professional waxer. I just like to have natural ingredients. So this is how I do it. I stir the wax with my applicator and twirl it around to make sure it's clean. Then apply the wax in the direction of hair growth, carefully making sure that it doesn't drip anywhere near your eye or onto other hair that you don't want to remove. This wax will cool in about 5 seconds, and make sure not to wait too long. I keep touching it until I notice that it's no longer sticky to the touch. Then I flip down the end, kind of like a handle, pull the skin taut in the opposite direction, then grab the handle and pull down in the opposite direction of hair growth. And you can see this simple hard wax removes the hair very effectively without causing skin irritation and leaving minimal redness. I recommend using a wax heater as it will harden as it cools, and you may have to turn it up slightly as you're waxing. If you're a beginner like me, continue waxing in small sections, taking your time but making sure not to leave the wax on for more than 10 seconds. Creating that flap again makes it so easy. When waxing near the eye or the edges of the eyebrows, go slow, making sure not to get any wax on the hairs that you don't want to remove. When you're waxing under the eyebrow, I found it helpful to make sure you don't have too much wax. You don't want it dripping anywhere near the eye. Take your time doing small sections and use a small applicator like I'm doing here. This way you can make sure not to remove hairs and be left with a big blank spot. If when you're removing the wax, you're left with a tiny bit of residue, don't worry, it easily picks off. Or you can put a little bit of oil on your finger and it will just slide right off. I use the same precautions while shaping above the eyebrow as I do below. However, I may need to use glasses to be able to see properly. Here's some common mistakes and how to fix them. First, you accidentally get wax on hair that you don't want to remove. Make sure not to pull it off right away. Add some hand sanitizer or even some olive oil or coconut oil and gently wipe off the wax before pulling it off. If you find your wax is breaking every time you pull it off, here's some tips. Make sure that when you're applying your wax that it is at the correct temperature of that warmed honey consistency, and ensure you're removing it within 10 seconds. If your wax is too cold, it will harden quickly and break, but if it's too hot, it will be applied too thin, which will also make it easy to break. Cleaning up this hard wax is easy as well. Not only is it oil soluble, it's also completely soluble in alcohol. So using some isopropyl alcohol or hand sanitizer to clean your hands and the inside of the bowl and anywhere that it spills makes cleanup a breeze. I sure hope you'll try this 2-ingredient do-it-yourself hard wax that's safe for the face and anywhere else you can use hard wax. And if you did like this video, please help me out by liking and leaving a positive comment and subscribe to my channel for more do-it-yourself videos coming up.